Oh god, here we go again.
Stay away!
Wait, what? Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah, stay away! What? Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon. Like, who should I be defending? Like, I've been thinking, should I go with the maid? I probably have to choose between the maid or Lady Charlotte. But I think the maid is really angry that she watched her love die. Who is Luke, presumably. I probably have to choose between Hana or the maid. I don't know. It's how do we break this curse? And the only answer that I could come up with is love, but for who? Yet, in spite of the unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow, odorous process. Difficult! Every limb heavy with lead, no matter my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears, or the sight of her horrid smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I am at their mercy. Beyond fathomable reason, my consciousness refuses to the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pits of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into unknown depths. Somehow, even if it might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them.
You do not belong there, my prince.
Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course. The bed's more than comfortable as it is, after an exhausting day yesterday. Babysitting Kylie and the stress of finding an intruder in my own home. I think I deserve a little break, every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. I can only be on the receiving end of so many unacceptable things within the span of a few hours, you know. As gracious a host and person I am, my patience has its limits too. Although there's still that problem with Hana, I haven't forgotten that, of course. But that's why I hired Shroken. He's competent enough. He won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits who think they can deceive me with sweet words. He's more than capable of working on his own without guidance. Let the butler take care of that little problem with Hana while Hana.
You do not need her. I am here. We are here. This is where your home is.
Okay, dialogue. Where you belong for the blood we share. Come back to us. Okay, dialogue. How long has it been since, or I should say audio, Johans has never taken this long before?
Surely there should have been an update by now. Alright?
So why isn't there?
Please don't go.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of bed? As it has always been the case? Now she sounds normal, now I want to say, but I don't know. So, I have to think. Now I see this is between love and obsession. This is what it's really about. So does the maid, is the maid's love obsession or actual love? But I think Lady Charlotte is obsession. So it might be wrong to go with the Lady Charlotte, who is probably Hana, but I'm not sure. I'll just have to see what the next choice is. My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains, only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and a loud boom of thunder that sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of wind will occasionally burst in from the open balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. This is why there should be a door there! I must have left it open earlier, before dozing off. Oh, the carpet and the floor closest to it is already drenched. Well, sucks to be that. Hana's going to be so cross once she sees this. I would be too. It's expensive carpet. And you ruined it. Anyway, let's see. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, it's the power outage we should be minding first. With the intruder still at large, steering through this darkness might be far more fatal than multiple stab wounds or a gunshot in the chest. Wow, alright. Sounds like you're prepared.
Oh, great. The power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
It's this storm, of course. I should have moved back to the penthouse to weather it in a more comfortable setting. You poor slop, you. So already I can hear the creaking groans of this old place as rain beats against the windows.
Johans, has someone been sent to check the circuit breaker yet?
No answer.
Johans?
Silence.
Shrouking! Someone! Anyone?
Still nothing, and my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Where are those idiots when you need them?
It's really a wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? Can't be. It has only been a few hours after midnight, if the time on my wristwatch is anything to go by. Unless I've forgotten to change it and again after that last overseas trip a month ago. Though the delay is understandable if he went looking for Hana as he promised. But bloody hell, my safety's also at stake here. Let's see. Cursing. I stay still, letting my eyes try and adjust to the darkness, while my hands fumble for my slippers. If that butler isn't going to fix this, I may as well order the security posted outside to do it. Are they still outside? I hope they are. Cause I will be I would be scared as hell. Let's see. It's probably just a blown fuse. Anyone with a brain can repair one. Grabbing my jacket and with footwear finally on, I make for the door. Although in haste, I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eye on one of my drawers. Underneath the clutter I've yet to organize, the muzzle of a gun peeks out. Hana has never openly commented my possession of it, but I know she does not approve of it, knowing the bloody firearms policy in this nation. Of course, I've not found much use of it in the 7 years we've been together. Otherwise, she would have already had it thrown out years ago. That doesn't mean it won't be useful right now. Without second thought, I seize it, sending the stuff piled above it onto the floor. Whatever. I'll get to it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first. Right next to my missing security detail, as it turns out.
Where the fuck did everyone go?
You tell me. There were two, weren't there? Shrunken had two blokes posted to stand guard for the night. I might be panicking for a bit earlier, but I'm quite sure I haven't gotten delusional yet. What? Did both of them decide to take a break because they think the master's already sound asleep and won't be looking for them?
Damn nitwits.
Nitwits. Oh, so, I know assassinations happen very rarely these days, and even less in a peaceful city like Luxborn, but bollocks! There's been a woman going in and out of the place, uninvited, who may or may not want to put a knife in my back. Probably. Isn't that enough reason to stay on alert? I'm fairly certain Shrunken won't just enlist their help just for this power outage, only to leave me unprotected. Oh, little do you know. No. We have a difficult friendship, so to speak, but I doubt that man is an opportunist. I'm holding the lives of his family in my hands after all. Wow. That's a good way of putting it. He knows what I am capable of doing. He's not stupid enough to do anything that'll endanger them and save only himself. So, where then? Only my footsteps echo along dark passage. And I am left gripping the handle of my gun for some sort of comfort. Without proper lighting, and with this storm still raging outside, the stories I heard about this place seem to have some truth to it. Some. If I'm reaching and wish to entertain myself for a bit, I'll say there might also be ghosts whispering in my ears, calling. Of course, it's just the wind and the trees rustling outside. Let's see. Nothing good will come of allowing these thoughts to linger when problems are piling up in front of me one after another. Oh god. I need to charge my phone. Let's see. Especially with what greets me once I get to the foyer. Though it's dark, the large windows illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. Oh, they're already there! So, and from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms. Recognize them even. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come into my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones knew that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair. So, right now it is the day. And if one of this wag sort is in on this, I'm not surprised too. But Lily, the estate agent, she doesn't seem to store. And Daisy too? What will Kylie think of her, Miss Pink, if the poor tyke finds out about this? Not to mention Mint. Hana trusted her. I trusted her to be a professional at the very least. For fuck's sakes! To top it all off, they all have the nerve to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Alright, I'm just charging my phone. How long does this have to be? I feel like it's close, but I don't know. The reading is long. I hope I don't get cold if I'm at the very tip of the end. Bloody trespassers. What is wrong with these people? Did they really think I'll be fine with them walking into my home like this? What are they even doing here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hana's disappearance.
That's right, my love.
What? They must have a motive.
Make them pay
And it better be a good one.
for all the wrong made to us.
Or a bullet to the head is the least all of them will deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, a real estate agent, an interior designer walk into a mansion.
Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time, its sound hits close enough that it nearly feels as if the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me, however, as I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting, with the heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. I kinda like it, to be honest. Adds something to the atmosphere. I suppose I must look like the villain now. But short of me getting close to them, a noise to my left distracts me, briefly halting my movements while curiosity takes over every murmurs in my head. And it's a good thing, perhaps, that I did, because as soon as I look up, I see him. Another trespasser. Great. Just as he's about to jump down from furniture that has somehow ended up piled and blocking the door to the parlor. What happened there? And did he really think it's alright to do that in another people's house? Lout. teach him. Or, what? Really? Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place. My hand's already moving before any rationality can stop me. Fingers firm at my gun when I finally release the safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They are his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together? Doesn't matter. He won't let the people he cares about be harmed. My finger on the trigger's more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him. But more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. Lives are in his hand. His life's in my hand.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I can tell the exact moment that realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hits the ground and he looks up. He's already a prey trapped by his own recklessness.
Pathetic.
Oh.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
We're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Lily.
Tut, not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that'll bring negative attention to myself. Reputation and all that. I can't just risk it. The thought of having dead bodies here, ones that I'm not even responsible for, they're the ones who trespassed. It's already quite too much. It'll literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time drawing his own gun at a slight wave on my own. Even if he knows it's already too late. Still, he glares at me. Still, he fights back.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There's no desperation in him like I'm hoping. Just an annoyance flickering shortly before being hidden underneath a challenge. The likes of him are the kind of people I hate the most. Even with their failures already glaring down at them, mocking every worthless move they make, they have the impudence to stare people in the eye.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talked back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying most of the time, like a damn pest you can't be rid of. But to some degree, it is commendable. I'll give him that. After all, we're almost the same in that regard. Almost. I'm still the better person, of course. He tells me to put down the gun, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner, in defense of my own home. I have the right to, I like to think. Questionable permit of firearms aside. It's not like I wanted this, but I'm already high-strung and their presence does not help. Bloody peasants. I can never seem to figure how their minds fully work. Take this one, for example. Despite the pride brimming in him, how he matches my glare with one of his own, he simply lowers his pistol after a long second, not in surrender. The tense set in his shoulders tells me as much, but the closest he can get to lowering his own ego in favor of something I can't quite place. Interesting. Gotta admit, I'm almost disappointed.
As you should be, my lord.
I expected him to hold until one of us shoots the other. Can't say it'll be more exciting that way. A bullet inside any part of my body isn't something I like to have on a bad day like this, or any day for that matter. But it'll surely be predictable of him. And I like predictable. They're the kinds of people who are the easiest to deal with, no matter the situation. With them, there's no second guessing what they'll do. He shoots, I shoot. One of us dies, the other walks away. Nothing complicated. Nothing requiring much brain power, just muscle memory and who's the better shooter. End of story. Yet, here he is, dragging a deep breath in and setting aside the only thing protecting him. I can easily shoot him this way, be done with this whole farce of a conversation. Instead, I find myself listening. A concession for a person who, in another life, would have also become the person I am today had his circumstances allowed it. Damn shame. We might have gotten along.
Listen, right. I need you to...
But alas...
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
A meeting of two prideful blokes will never go well, whichever lifetime it is. And I can only laugh at his audacity, his lack of shame and fear even facing the business end of my pistol.
You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
The best truth I can offer him. Not many people, those who have slighted me, in particular, live this long to see it.
And he should be grateful. You're already gracious enough, allowing him to stand in your presence like this.
Yes, especially when he has a lot to answer. Preferably right now, because as generous as I have been so far, my patience has its limits. My amusement can only last for so long. In 2 steps, I'm standing in front of him, grabbing him by the collar and resting the cold muzzle of the eagle against his temple. Lily. Ashton!
Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
He'll end up a pretty smear on the wall this close.
Teach this loud a lesson.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the second time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me? Or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to meet the business end of this gun.
And he knows it. Of course he does. Hitman or not, he has been trained, judging purely from his stance. but not many bothered to be as cautious as him. One glimpse at my handgun safety earlier is all it took for him to see I mean business. Similar. Too similar. We're too alike in so many little ways, it's funny. Down to fact that he doesn't even flinch, no matter how heavy the threats in my words are. Even knowing how one flick of my finger on the trigger will be enough to end his sorry life, he should have caved in by now, started begging like so many others before him. Instead, he throws more virtual, adding more kindling to a fire already burning.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Igniting it further that I can't help but return it to him with equal fever. We don't need him, my love.
Why, you insolent!
Oh, wow. We both decide to move in that moment, both our bodies tensing, each of us racing to get ahead of the other. However, before it can even get a head start, a voice unexpectedly rings above the chaos about to ensue.
Hana?
Oh, Luke, darling, my love. What do you think you're doing out here this late?
The woman that stands there is the one that I married. The love of my life. So why is it that the look she gives me now makes me feel so revolted? Makes it so that there is just a general sense of wrongness in the way she smiles at me.
Oh, thank goodness, it's just you. Oh, you gave me quite the fright. We've been looking all over for you.
Saying this makes my tongue feel heavy. I'm so used to lying, to putting on a face, but this just feels so wrong. It's such a small lie, yet a big one at that. To be afraid at the sight of my own wife for no apparent reason is illogical, yet her mere presence has been disturbing. From her suddenly devoted and near-dependent nature, her obsession and possessiveness, to her strange way of speaking, something has been wrong with Hana as of late. I didn't want to admit it, but it was almost as if she turned into another person overnight. And looking up at her now only seems to solidify this. It's almost as if I can't recognize my own wife.
Fetch me, whatever for, my prince.
Look, that doesn't matter right now. You need to get out of this house right now, alright? Stay in the penthouse for a while.
Leave our home? What if I wish to stay?
It's not safe here, darling. Now is not the time to explain. Just listen to me. Okay, Buttercup?
I hold out my hand to her, oh god, in the hopes that she won't ask any more questions. I shove away the ill thoughts I have about her, about how this is not the wife I married. People change, and now is not the time to have some sort of existential crisis about it. Our safety is priority right now, and I'll feel better about all of this as long as I can have her by my side. But she barely budges from her place atop the stairs, let alone take my hand. And the way she looks at me just sends chills down my spine.
Why should I? Is something the matter? What about you? Are you not coming with?
What was I supposed to say? Where to even start? Maybe just confess there's some crazy lady roaming around, and I really like it if we just stayed safe.
You just need to leave for a while so I can let security sweep the place. And someone has to be there, yes? To supervise and all. That'll be my job, Buttercup.
Still. Nothing. She doesn't move from where she stands, still with that amused grin on her face, as if this is all some funny joke and she's the only one who can see the punchline.
But I do not wish to leave, and you should not either. You've just arrived, my prince. This is your home. Our home. Would you really allow others to drive us away from it?
Be that as it may, it is dangerous here right now, and I'd rather have you safe than, oh, I don't know, comfortable or whatever argument you wish to bring up. This is ridiculous, Hana. We shouldn't be discussing this. You need to leave now. Let me handle things here, Buttercup.
It is then that her expression turns absolutely horrific, and everything turns to complete and utter shit. Oh, okay. How is this gonna happen? Hey, Hana. Oh, please be a good ending. At least a decent ending. Hana's body shudders and shakes, as if she's about to have a seizure, until her visage ripples and changes. Golden yellow hair is slowly stained with inky black, and her face melts into that of the woman, the maid from before, with a menacing expression on her face. Along with it is the shifting of the very ground we stand on. It's a slow thing, a whisper more than a bang, as the darkness creeps into every corner of the room. The walls shudder and groan, blood runs from the ceiling and crawls down the walls and stains the floor. It feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house slowly but surely. The beauty of the place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of a mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it is just the foyer that's become this nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling of thunder and the lashings of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound. A cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere, echoing throughout the now horrid walls. Voice that neither belongs to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in front of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane. Even Daisy, feisty woman that she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lily, while Steel and Feathers stand protective in front of the two. Brave of them, I have to admit, to put themselves in the front line like that. Though it doesn't necessarily mean they don't feel the same fear as the rest of us. Something I don't blame them for. There seems to be no end in sight of this insanity. If anything, this only feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Help me! Oh my god! Please, somebody! Anybody! Who are you? Stay away! No. Stay away! Stay away!
Their screams fill the mansion. She laughs all the while, a harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Until there is nothing but silence, her horrid smile, and pale hands reaching out to me, calling, beckoning, pleading. I'm terrified. I really am, like I should. But I have never been one to truly stay afraid. I've long learned that fear will not get me anywhere. Cowering in a corner doesn't help, doesn't keep me safe, and it will not keep me alive like the rage does. I've learned to use this burning hate inside of me to survive. There is no difference now.
Stay away from me!
Why do you wish to leave? This is where you belong, my lord.
What does she look like now?
Remember the blood we share? This is your home.
The blood we share.
Don't you remember? You promised to return, to stay. Together with me, with us, with people no different from you.
Don't listen to her, she lies. I promised no such thing to anyone. We bought this house weeks ago. How should I know what she's babbling about? I never even wanted to be here in the first place.
A terrible case of mistaken identity. That must be it. I'm quite sure of it. I don't know this woman, this monster. Why would I say that to someone like her? In my entire lifetime, I've only made and kept sincere promises to a mere 2 people. Hannah Evans and Eleanor Chandler. No one else. The rest of those who claim I promised anything to them can go fuck themselves. Bloody hell, I may enjoy the company of women, but I am not an idiot to start sprouting such nonsense to anyone. A line must be drawn, especially if I am to keep myself alive. Yet, she still goes on, insists, making me appear a liar in front of these people.
Of course you still deny it. Have you truly forgotten? You haven't changed, I see. Still a deceiver.
She's lying!
You see, my love, nothing has changed. Still no difference, you and I. Just like the rest of us. Just like every single soul in this putrid wreck. We've waited for so long. You can hear them, yes. Their pleas, their calls, their invitation. Come, my lord. The house seeks its master.
She, the monster, reaches out again. Her hands a gory, abhorrent sight, along with that smile spread across her face. My body's already moving on instinct, stumbling back one step at a time in a desperate bid to be away from her. Anything to put distance between me and this vile creature. No matter what she says, I am nothing like her. I need to get out of this house. Out of this country, preferably. There's nothing for me here. Not anymore. Nothing to keep tied to this place. Well, is this still Hannah? With Hannah, beyond saving, shit. No longer the same woman I knew, and broken, likely taken by this woman. Nothing is left to bind me to this wretched city. I can leave. I can. My foot steps on something, setting me sliding on my back and flat on the floor. Beside me, a paper, familiar one, flutters down. It's this thing again, from the open house, though it feels less like a gimmick and more like a threat, what with recent events. It must have fallen from one of these peasants in the commotion earlier. For a moment, they appear conflicted to see it in my hands, but wisely keeps their opinions to themselves. Leaving the damn thing to simply is to simply bear its grisly message for everyone in the room to see. Help me. Help me. Help me. Is this it? What they've been telling us? Why everything in my life has gone to shit because of some stupid old letter. An invitation indeed. One I am not willing to accept. Not any time. From the top of the stairs, the creature moves again, drawing my attention back to her. Her gait remains slow and awkward as she walks forward, that smile never leaving her. But I won't give her the chance. I am not dying here. I certainly am not giving myself to a hideous creature like her either. Adrenaline kicks in, and despite panicked gasps and worried glances from Daisy's friends, I pay them no mind as I reach for the main door and, without warning, it slams open, revealing not the mentioned grounds like I am expecting. Before my mind can even comprehend what's happening, black tendrils have already coiled tightly around my limbs, dragging every person in the foyer into the room. Wow, none of us even get to scream when darkness completely envelops us upon the doors closing.
Understand where your place is now, my love. You belong here. Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.
Jesus, this is still going on and on. Okay, well, I'm gonna stop this for now, as I had to take a pee break. But anyway, I'll jump back into it. And I'm gonna make some coffee too, so looks like we're in the office. But anyway, that is it, and have a good day.